Oh, hello. Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do a new type of sculpture that you probably haven't seen me do before. It's called a relief sculpture. And what it is, it almost looks like a picture, and it's like raised so it looks three-dimensional. So if you look at it from the side, it's almost flat, but it's raised up, and I'll show you how to go about doing that to create that effect. The types of clay that you can use are an oil-based clay such as this is the one I use all the time as a kid, and you can make all kinds of sculptures with it, and where it never hardens, then you can roll them up into a ball again and start over again. Another type of clay that you can use is an air hardening clay such as this, which can be bought in any art store, and it it hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight, and then it's great because you can paint it. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can drill it, sand it, make a tremendous amount of detail. It's great clay to work with. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be working with tonight. We'll be using this size right here. This is going to be used for the base, which will be green. This will be used for the body. This size right here will be used for the head. And these two smaller balls of clay right here will be used for the ears. So the first thing that I want to do is I will show you on the sculpture here, the relief sculpture. The piece that we want to make is the green base right here. And that's what we're going to proceed to do right now. I'm going to take this clay here, and then I'm going to squeeze it between my fingers. So you're going to kind of flatten it out. See how I'm flattening that with my fingers? Another thing that we can do to make it easier is I can put it down here on the table. And what we can try to do is try to make it flatter that way, lengthen it out. See how I'm doing that? Take my fingers. What I want to do is we're going to see I'm squeezing that, flatten it out. Do that. And what I want to do is I want to compare it, or do a size comparison to the original one that I did. See, I need to make that a little bit bigger. See how that is? It's almost the right size, but we'll just make it a little bit bigger. See how I'm just squeezing that with my fingers? Just like that. Do that. I want to kind of just do that. See that? That's what it will look like from the top, and that's what it will look like from the side. We're going to proceed to place that on the table. And now we're going to use something that we've used in the past. I have some tin foil, which can be bought, like in the supermarket or a drugstore. That's great. You roll it up into a ball, and then what you proceed to do is you kind of tap it like this. See what I'm doing there? We're going to go all the way around. It gives it a really nice texture. So this is going to look like the green grass. So we'll go all the way around the edges. Just like that. And now I'll show you what it looks like. See that beautiful texture that we just created? That's really nice. It's a very simple technique, but it looks really nice when it's done. The next thing that we want to do is I'm going to show you on the sculpture here. I want to proceed to make the body, or this piece right here. See what I'm pointing to? And we'll take the ball of clay and I'll show you how we'll proceed to do that. I'm going to take this ball of clay here. I'm going to start to flatten it out. See, it almost looks like a potato shape. What we're going to do is start to pull this up like this because we want to create the area where the neck is going to be. See, I'm pinching it like that, then pulling it up this way because that's going to be the neck area. Just going to keep working that. Just like that. That's basically the shape we want. So what I want to do is compare it back to my original sculpture here and see if that's roughly the correct size. It appears that it almost is. What I'm going to do is just work this a little more here. Make that a little wider. Like that. So see the shape that we just created? That's the shape you want. That's what it looked like from the front. See how nice and thin it is? We can put this down on the table right now, and we'll try to flatten it a little more and get that basic shape that we want. The next thing that I want to do is I want to make the head. So we're going to proceed to make this piece right here. See that head right there I'm pointing to? We're going to make that piece right now. And then we'll proceed to attach it. So I take this, and what I want to do is you're going to have this a little more rounded up near the base. That's going to be like the top part of the head, but then for the deer's snout or nose, we're just going to so what I want to do is compare that to the original one. It's about roughly the same size, but I'm going to use the additive technique right now, and I have some clay right here. And I'm going to add a little more clay to that. See how I added that? I'm just going to add a little bit more. So I want to make that head a little bigger. Just like that. So this is what it will look like from the top. That's what it will look like from the side. And what we're going to proceed to do is I'm going to proceed to attach it right here. We're going to put those two together. So what we can do is come from the back like this. See I'm doing that? And then I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to take a little bit of this clay here. See I'm doing that? Take my finger and going like that. We could use a toothpick also, if that will kind of pull that down so it's attached. And then one of the next things that we want to do is we want to make the ears. So I'm going to show you, we're going to take this, see I'm flattening that out with my fingers, and we're going to create the shape of the ear. I'll show you. See that nice? It almost looks like a diamond shape. And I'll proceed to make the other ear also. Take that, flatten this out. See I'm doing that? And then we'll make that. I want to make sure they're approximately the same size. See, they are. And what I want to do is take this first ear. See what I'm doing here? And we're going to attach it like that. And then I'm going to place it down on the table. Flatten that out nicely. See how we just did that? And I want to see if that looks good. The next thing that we want to do is we want to attach the other ear, which I have here. I'm going to hold this up. See, I'm going to put that, I want to show you, so we're going to put that right there. So see how I'm doing that? Get that. Then another thing that I'd like to do is I want to create, or I actually want to take my sculpting tool here. See the ear here? We're going to take some of this out right here. I'm going to take and sculpt that out a little bit. And see how I made what I did with the ear there? See how that looks? Now I'm going to proceed to put this back down on the table. We're going to use the additive technique. We're going to add a little more clay around the neck area. I want to build this up right here. See what I'm doing here? Just want to build that up a little bit more. Take a little more clay. Build that up a little more. So I'm working that in on top. What I want to do is raise this a little bit, so that's why I'm adding this clay. Just work that in. In a minute I'll pick it up so you can see what I've done. See how that is? Starting to take shape now. One of the other things that I want to do is I want to create the legs. So we're just going to take clay here. And I'm going to take this, see I'm taking my fingers, going back and forth like that. What we want to do is start to create the leg. So I'm going to make like a little hoof here. So what I'm doing is pulling this a little bit. I'll show you an easy way to kind of make that hoof. See how we're going to make that little indentation with the toothpick? Just going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little more clay. And take this clay up here and attach the clay up here like that. See how I did that? Just like that. I want to see, measure it compared to my other one. It's approximately the same size. So I will take and put that down like this. Put it down like that. And I'm taking more clay and we're going to build up this area right here. I'll pick that up in a minute so you can see it. I just want to kind of see how I'm building up that area here. The leg right there. And we'll add a little more clay to it. That's what I'm working on right now. And I'll just kind of work it in. See, I'm doing that. And then I want to make another leg. So I'm going to do the additive technique again. And I'm going to take and create the other leg. So I'm going to see I'm doing that. Pull it. I'm going to kind of tap it on the bottom here because I'm making the hoof. What I want to do is we'll do the same exact thing that we did before. See this? I'm taking the toothpick. We're going to create that indentation so we can see the hoof. It's a very nice technique. And now what I'm going to do is I want to put the leg, that leg in here. So I'm going to actually carve out a little of the clay here. See how I'm doing this here? So what I want to do is take, I'll carve it out a little more. It needs a little more carving here. So what I'm going to do is take this, see this leg? Put it in here. And we'll work that in a little bit. See how that's starting to shape up? And then what we'll proceed to do is we want to make the front legs. I'll pick this up and I'll show you. The piece we just did recently is this piece here. See that? We put the other leg in here. You want to make it look like it's tucked under there. And then the next thing we want to do is create the bend in the knee for the two legs there. I will take some clay here using the additive technique. I'm going to do that size ball of clay right there. And I see now that I should add a little more clay to it, so that's what we will do. That's the great thing about clay. When it's soft, you can keep adding to it or subtract from it if you need to. So I'm going to lengthen this out like this. And then I'm going to kind of, see how I did that? I'm going to bend that over. And I'll show you what we'll do in a second. I'm going to proceed to make the second one. And what we're doing, see this, I'm doing that. But then I also want to kind of create that little elbow there. We could do something along those lines. So what I'm going to do is take now and kind of push these two together. And we're going to take and we're going to add them in here. See how I did that? Just like that. And then we'll build up the deer a little more. I take the additive technique. I'm going to be adding clay in here. So I'm going to take and put this clay here, up above there. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. And I just want to work that in a little better. See how we're doing that? The next thing I would like to do is I want to create the eye. So I'm going to take the toothpick here, and I'm going to take this, and almost like draw the eye, like that. See how we just did that? I'm going to take this here, it's going to create more of an indentation. Just like that. And then what we can do is I'm going to take this and put the toothpick in here like this. And it gives a much more lifelike appearance for the eye. See how we did that? Then another thing that we want to do is we want to create the nose and the mouth. So I'm going to take this piece here. See this toothpick? I'm going to take and put that in like that. And then I'm going to take and do that. That way we can create the mouth. Then I'm going to flip them over and do the other side. And then what we want to do is we also want to make the nostrils. So I'm going to take and go like this. And then I'll take and go from the other side. And another thing I want to do is I also want to create the eye on the other side here. So I want to make sure it's in approximately the same location. So see, we're going to draw the eye here. Same thing we did before over there. See how I'm making a little indentation around the eye. And then we're going to take and put this in here to create like the center of the eye. So we just did that. And now what we want to do is we do want to add a tail. So I'm going to take a piece of clay here. See how I'm doing that? I want to make this the shape of the tail, and I'll show you. You work it from all sides. This is what the tail will look like from the side. And then we're going to proceed to put this like right here. See that? And then the next thing that we want to do is I want to start to make some of the fur. So what we can do, I want to show you this. We can see this, the toothpick. I'm going to take and just go like that to create the fur. Just short, quick strokes, just like that. See how we're doing that? And then we'll do the same for the other ear. See that? I want to get it behind. And then we'll start to create some fur here. See, I'm doing that for the head. Go like that. And then we'll make the nice short strokes right here. See how we're doing that? So what you want to do is do that all around the head. Do those nice short strokes. And then we also want to do the fur here for the neck. See how I'm doing that? I want to just kind of take short, quick strokes to create that fur-like effect. Just like that. Just like that. We'll just keep working it. And then like on the legs here, just do short, quick strokes like this. Then do the same thing. We'll go in this direction here. And then we want to do the fur here. Just like that. And then we'll do the fur here. You do short, quick strokes. And then we're going to do the tail also. Short, quick strokes like that. So once you've completed that process there and done all the fur, it will be now ready for baking in the oven at 275 degrees. Okay, and now that this has been baked in the oven, it is now ready for painting, and I will show you the types of paints that we will use. We have acrylic paints, which can be bought in any art store. There's about 18 in this package, and we'll use several colors from this. We are going to use green. We're going to be using tan. We're going to be using white. We're going to be using black. Let's see, I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. We're going to be using yellow. So we have about 5 different colors that we're using tonight. I'll show you the size brushes that we'll be using. I'm going to use this size brush here. This will be for the fine detail like the eyes and the nose. This size brush right here. For the ground cover, which is green, I'll be using this brush here, and the body of the actual baby deer. And I'll get a few smaller brushes that we can use. I like to have a couple of these smaller brushes available for some of the other small work that we have to do. So all in all, we have about these 4 brushes here. The first thing that I want to do is paint the body. And I'll show you, we're going to go this here. See how we're doing that? Go back and forth. Just like that. Back and forth, back and forth. Just like that. You're going to paint the entire body in that manner. See that? Back and forth, back and forth. So we'll take the black color here. We'll paint the eye. So what I'm going to do, so you're going to put this in here like this. And then we'll proceed to do the other side. The eye, there's another eye over here. And then proceed to do the nose. Right here. Just like, see how we're doing that? See how I just did that? Gives it a really nice effect. We're also going to paint the hoofs right here. Just like that. And then you can just paint them from the bottom here like that. Just like that. So now we're going to take the yellow here. See how we did that? And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint the white. We're going to paint the inside of the ear white, like that. And then we're going to put dots on the back of the baby deer or fawn. So you just dab it like that. Just like that. We'll put a little white in the bottom of the tail. A little right here. We'll do a couple more dots. See how that is? And now we'll proceed to do the bottom where we made the grass. And we'll paint that green. We'll paint this bottom green. Just like that. See how we did that? Back and forth, back and forth. You know, I could have used the wider brush like I did for the body of the deer, but I chose to use this brush instead. You know, this will still fulfill our purposes. And now I'll show you what the completed version should look like. This is what the completed version should look like. See how we made the nice green for the grass. We have the tan for the body of the deer. We have the black for the eye and the yellow which surrounds it. The black in the nose, the black hoofs. And then you see how we proceeded to put the white dots in the back of the baby deer or fawn. A baby deer is called a fawn. This is the first relief sculpture I've basically done on the show. And what it is it's because it's raised up, it looks almost three-dimensional from the flat surface, that it's referred to as a relief sculpture. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay tonight, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.